I suddenly see you. Ooh, did I tell you I need you?
Welcome back, helping you in the water cooler wars. Thom Hartmann here with you, and another water cooler warrior, Cliff Schecter, is with us. He is a national progressive PR strategist with Libertas LLC, also nationally syndicated columnist with Al Jazeera English, and author of The Real McCain. And Cliff, welcome back to the program.
Thanks so much, Tom. How are you?
I am great. I understand you live in Ohio, and I understand that President Obama was there. Was it yesterday?
I think today, actually.
Oh, today. Okay. So he gave a speech today.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Not right in my area. It's a couple hours from me, but it was near the Brent Spence Bridge, which is one of the many structurally deficient bridges we have thanks to the Tea Party movement and their friends that think that you don't need to fund anything. It'll all just magically work on its own.
Right. Right.
He's there speaking. I guess he was going to speak at around 2:30. So we're right in that zone. But essentially, he's making the point. I mean, obviously Ohio is an important swing state, but he's also right there in one of the districts. There are two districts in northern Kentucky and southern Ohio. The Cincinnati area are both Republican ones. So I think there's a point to be made. It reminds me of I think one of the smartest things Chris Matthews ever said when he said that if Democrats wanted to win these elections, what they do is they point out, all the structurally deficient bridges in each of these guys' districts, and
right.
and make sure everybody knew about it. I think in Boehner's district, which is right next door, there's 95 of them. So
wow.
That's what we're looking at.
Wow. Yeah. So
just his district.
So here's Obama standing in front of a bridge, or he's going to be in a few minutes, standing in front of a bridge that's fallen down or that's at risk of it, pointing out the fact that the Republicans don't want to allocate any money for this. And he'd like to fix that bridge and put some people to work in the process of doing it.
Right. Well, as you know your history well. This is a tried and true method. I mean, there's just so many reasons to do it. Obviously, it puts people to work while they're fixing it. It's long-term economic development. These are things that didn't used to be controversial, like so many other things that we've discussed and will discuss, whether it's disaster relief or Social Security. These were things that everyone, to the left of Pat Buchanan had accepted.
Yeah.
The problem is that most of the Republican Party seems to be the right of Pat Buchanan these days.
Yeah, not just seems to be, is.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's accurate, yes. I would argue on some days maybe to the right of baby Doc Duvalier, but it depends.
Yeah, I don't know his politics well enough to comment, but yesterday at the UN, the president introduced his speech by quoting FDR. I thought that was kind of cool. Do you think that he is? It certainly seems to me that as he moves into campaign mode, he's moving away from kind of the Bill Clinton role and toward a Harry Truman FDR role, and that it's resonating well with his base and with many independent voters. Although I read a piece, maybe it was in Politico yesterday, that said a lot of independent voters are now starting to freak out because he's becoming this outspoken progressive. Those are the people who I think all along weren't actually independents. They were actually unaffiliated Republicans. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree 100%. I mean, most of the polls, again, I love what the right does is they try to push all these types of issues, whether it's infrastructure spending, taxes on the wealthiest, a millionaire's tax, Social Security, and a variety of other things. Any poll will tell you that independents and Democrats, real independents and Democrats, are aligned in all these things. They're all popular at largely at the 70% level, certainly majorities. And so, he may be losing some people now, but these are these sort of people that for some reason he's been trying to win over the past 2 years that we're never going to be with him anyhow. Mm-hmm. The progressive vision is really the American vision. You did a great piece the other day talking about the guy challenging Boehner. I can't think of his name right now, and they're talking about the Jason Bournes of America that don't have no memory of the way this country used to be. And the truth is that this used to be something that united independents, Democrats, Rockefeller Republicans. I just wrote a column about that with the passing of Charles Percy and Mark Hatfield in recent months. These are not controversial things. We've allowed our political culture to be hijacked by people that are radicals, and that point needs to be made. And it looks like Obama is finally proudly making that point, and I hope he continues and just makes that point every day, because I'm quite confident then that he'll have at least a solid shot at coming back and winning this thing.
As a political consultant to many people on the Democratic side, are you noticing that more and more Democrats are kind of taking heart at this and saying, well, maybe this will work. Or, looking at, for example, Elizabeth Warren's video that's now gone viral about her talking about wealth in America and how, no rich person got wealthy on their own, none. And we all stand on the shoulders of others, et cetera, et cetera. And or looking at, Senator Bernie Sanders. I remember back in 2004 when Louise and I lived in Vermont, driving up through northern Vermont on the way up to Montreal. And this is an area that's totally rural and totally Republican and largely poor. And out in front of every house, or very frequently, you'd seen a George Bush for president sign right next to a Bernie Sanders for senator sign, or back then I think it was House of Representatives. Right. And he carries huge majorities in these largely Republican chunks of a state that is characterized as a blue state, but it's actually a purple state. I mean, he replaced Jim Jeffords, who was a Republican senator, right. and so.
A good moderate Republican senator, but yet, he's still, and he even became more progressive later on. But your point is correct, and I've written about this too before, which is really Vermont is important and how popular Bernie is in those areas. But, if you want to go to states that people accept as purple states, I'm sitting here in Ohio where Sherrod Brown does the exact same thing.
Yep.
He doesn't cash in in the Wall Street sector. He doesn't go and claim that, doesn't go and back up on his economically populist policies. He comes out against the insanity of our current trade regime and other things, and he wins these Republican constituencies. So does Thom Hartmann in Iowa. So did Byron Dorgan in North Dakota. So did Al Franken in Minnesota. I mean, there's a lot of states that you could call swing states with some for unapologetically progressive Democrats have won, and that's what we need, and that's what Obama needs to keep doing if he wants to win.
Yeah, and we need progressives to get involved at the local level and to start running for political office as well. Cliff Schecter,
absolutely.
LibertasLLC.com. Cliff, thanks for dropping by today.
Thanks for having me on, Tom. I appreciate it.
Great talking with you, as always. We will be back. 27 minutes past the hour.